Well, hello friends, and welcome to a day in my life. It seems like it's been a really long time since I've actually sat down and done a day in the life. It's been actually quite boring, probably for a month now. Just really, since the holidays were over and everything, it's just been pretty boring around here, other than we had a wonderful wedding and an unfortunate funeral. And now it's settled back down to being kind of a boring for me, boring for you. When I say that, I mean it's not like film worthy. There's nothing new happening. There's nothing exciting going on. It's just basically cleaning house and running errands. And that's about it. But I have been able to keep the videos going, other than for a couple of videos, back when my brother first died, which you understood that. And I took that week off, not realizing that he was going to be passing away during that week. So, I mean, obviously you don't know when people are going to pass away. So that just kind of happened to work out that way. As I was saying, I have, kept the videos going with my Dessert of the Month challenge and then the crafting videos. And I'm so pleased that you guys really enjoyed the wedding footage from Lydia's wedding. Oh, that was so special. It was so special. It was such a special day. A beautiful wedding, and they're a lovely couple, and I'm just really excited for them, and so thankful that I was able to be at the wedding and enjoy that and celebrate with them. And I'm happy that you guys enjoyed the footage of that, because I really wanted to be able to share with you that very special day. And so anyway, in today's video, it's just going to be a kind of a relaxed, laid-back day. I have some cooking I want to do. I need to get a crock pot meal going, and I've got some snack cookies, like breakfast cookies I want to get made for Scott. And then I have a little bit of decorating to do. One area I would like to get decorated. And so yeah, so come along with me, join me for this day in my life, and we'll have a good time together. And I'm excited to share this day with you, and thankful that you've decided to spend some of your time with me today. So let's go get busy in the kitchen. I am going to get some pork chops in the slow cooker. They're called country fried pork chops, and I'm gonna dredge them in some flour. I'm not measuring anything here. Some salt, some garlic powder, some paprika. Not smoked. I don't like smoked paprika, but if you want to use smoked paprika, you can. And some ground black pepper. We're just kind of gonna whisk this together. And I'm gonna dredge the pork chops in this, and then just kind of brown them in some oil on the stove. They don't have to be cooked done, because then I'm going to put them in a crock pot. I'm going to get some olive oil heating. Just a few tablespoons, because we're not going to like deep fry these. We just want to like pan sear them. We'll let this get hot, and then we'll start frying up these pork chops. So ordinarily, people who make country fried pork chops in the crock pot will add a can of cream of chicken soup with the can full of water mixed together to make kind of like a gravy. Well, because I have to be dairy free, I can't do cream soups. So instead, I'm going to use 2 packs of this Simply Organic chicken gravy mix. And you just add water to it. And I'm going to go ahead and get it thickened on the stove and then pour it over the pork chops. They're already in the crock pot on high, and those are some thick pork chops. So I'm glad I'm getting this in the crock pot early, because it's going to need to cook a good 6 hours on high probably, because those are such thick pork chops. So I'm going to get this thickened up and we'll pour this on top. Alright, the next recipe we are going to be doing, and then I'm going to get on to something else. Get this kitchen stuff out of the way. I have this book. It is called The Natural Healing Handbook. And they've got all kinds of recipes for all kinds of symptoms or problems that you might have. I'm going to be doing these today. Cinnamon flaxseed breakfast cookies, mainly for Scott. They're for diabetes management. He does not have diabetes, so I'm going to add a little bit extra sugar to these because I don't think he'll like them unless they're a little bit sweeter. But he does sometimes get what he calls like a hypoglycemic feeling, especially when he gets home from work and he hasn't eaten anything in a while. So I was going to make these for him. They're healthy, and he will be able to pack them in his lunch or have them right handy when he gets home from work to have a little snack, so that hopefully he can start to avoid that like hypoglycemic feeling. So in this bowl, I'm going to put 2 very ripe bananas. I've been planning on making this recipe for a couple of weeks now, and I didn't have ripe bananas. And then I had 1 ripe banana, and I just didn't have time to deal with it. And that banana ended up going in the garbage because it just got way too ripe. And so I had 2 ripe bananas today, and I'm like, I've got to get these done because I've been telling him that I was going to do this for him. So in this bowl, got the 2 bananas. We're supposed to mash them. I'm just going to mash them really quick with my mixer. Then to the mashed bananas, you're going to add the rest of the ingredients. I am doubling this recipe, by the way. I figured if I'm going to do this, pull all my stuff out, I might as well make a double batch. So 2 cups of rolled oats, 6 tablespoons of flaxseed, which is basically 1/4 of a cup plus 2 tablespoons. So I've got 1/4 of a cup here. I use the Anthony's organic flaxseed meal. Now, I'm not going to be able to eat very many of these or much of this at all. I'll just taste one to let you guys know what they taste like. But with my issues that I have with my digestion, even though oats are a soluble fiber, they don't agree with me very well. And flaxseed doesn't really agree with me very well either. So this is strictly going to be something for Scott, and if Travis and Olivia want to eat some of them, they can. Then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And then 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, or honey it says, but my honey is all crystallized right now, and I just don't feel like trying to heat it and get it uncrystallized. So I'm going to use maple syrup. So there's that. And then, like I said, I'm going to add a little bit of sugar because I think Scott will like it better if there's a little bit extra sweetness to it. Now, I know the bananas are sweet, so I'm just going to add another 1/4 of a cup of sugar to this. And I think he'll like it better that way. And then, let's see, we have 4 tablespoons of nut butter. I'm just going to go ahead and use peanut butter. And 4 tablespoons is the same as a 1/4 of a cup. So I'm just going to use the same 1/4 of a cup measure. I am going to put a little bit of spray oil in there so that the peanut butter comes out easier. You can use whatever nut butter is your favorite. Peanut butter is what I happen to have on hand, and I think it's the one that Scott would prefer. That's all of the ingredients, so now I'm just going to go ahead and mix this up really well so everything's nice and combined. This is what the dough looks like. I have rubber gloves on because I'm just going to form these cookies with my hands, and I don't want to get my hands all sticky and messy. So it just says to roll them into balls, and since there's no leavening in these, they're not going to spread. They remind me quite a lot of no-bake cookies, honestly. I've got my oven preheating to 350 degrees. And we bake these for 10 minutes or so until they are firm and light golden brown. I've made a bit of a mess doing all this cooking, so I'm gonna go ahead. I've got the dishwasher unloaded. I unloaded it this morning, so I'm gonna go ahead and load it back up, and I don't know, there might be enough here to actually run it, so that way there won't be so many dishes later after we eat supper. Here they are out of the oven. I just let them cool on the tray. They cooked for 12 minutes. So let me just take a small one and just break a little piece off of it and taste it. Like I said, flaxseed and oats don't really agree with my digestion very well. So one little bite's not gonna hurt me. So let me give these a taste and I'll let you know what I think. They are very good. They are subtly sweet. I honestly think that extra sugar was a good addition to these. Otherwise, I don't think my husband would like them at all because they wouldn't be very sweet. And when he thinks cookie, he thinks sweet. These are still not very sweet, even with that addition of sugar. Definitely can taste the banana and definitely can taste the cinnamon. They're kind of crunchy on the outside and chewy in the middle. And they're overall a very good little snack. As I was making them, I was thinking to myself, they remind me very much of like energy balls that you make that are like no bake, but these are really good. The peanut butter, I couldn't really detect a huge, like, strong peanut butter flavor. The two main flavor profiles in this was the banana and the cinnamon. Very good though, and I would recommend that you give them a try. Very easy to whip together, and yeah. So let's go ahead and do something else in this video that's not in the kitchen. But before we do that, this is how the pork chops are looking. Getting bubbly in there. They look delicious. The house smells really good. A week or so ago, we had a very big scare with our weather. We had tornadoes that came quite close to our house. Like, it's a long story, but they were really close and it was really scary. And we had known the storms were coming. They had been preparing us ahead of time. So earlier in the day, I took all the things that I thought if our house got blown away by a tornado, that I would be really, really sad if I lost them. And a lot of the things that Olivia has crocheted and knitted for me that I used in my decor, I put those in this little box. And then I put the metal rose that's Travis made for me. And I put more of the stuff that Olivia made. And I put my Royal Doulton figurines. So we're in for some good weather for a while. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put these all back out where they belong. And I'm keeping this box handy so that the next time we get another bad weather, I can box this stuff back up again. I actually considered just leaving it boxed up down in the basement until summer, but I thought, no, usually we get plenty of warning before a bad storm, and so I'd have time to box them up again if I need to. Let's hope and pray I don't need to box them up ever again this year, because I'm already done. I'm over the storms, and because we've had a couple of really close calls, and I'm just really over it. But it's only March. the last thing I would like to get done in this video today is I want to redecorate the top of my clock. I have had my owls up there for years and years and years. I still love my owls. I'm not going to get rid of them. I am just going to move them somewhere else in my house, probably downstairs. I may use 1 or 2 owls up here on top of the clock, but most of those are going to come down off of there. Now, this little mouse is going to stay. That's Hickory Dickory Dock. It came with the clock when we inherited it, and so that mouse stays on the clock. So that'll stay there. But other than that, I am not 100% sure what I'm going to do up here. I just felt like I wanted to do something different. So let's start off by getting all of those owls down off of there. I'm not sure how the videoing of this is going to go because it's up pretty high. But I will do my best to get good shots for you. Alright, this is what I've got done. I didn't try to video it because that was a little bit of a finagling there. I knew I wanted to use my vintage radio. This radio actually does work if it's plugged in and the stars are aligned. But I don't use it. I don't use it for radio. I just use it as decor. I have this box, this wooden box. I needed to have something high enough so that you could see the radio over the top of the arch of the clock. So I've got that much done. Now let's see what else I want to do. Let me see. It's like I know I want to put this plant back up there. Oh, I'm gonna need 2 hands. Hold on. There's the plant, and I decided to put that owl back there because I just really liked the way that looks. And then over here on this side, I just put a couple of vintage books. And now I've got to figure out what I want to do to decorate on top of the radio. Let me go kind of shop my house and see what I have and see what I can come up with. I love that. I just love that so much. So let me show you what I had to do in order to do this. This box, I had to snitch that from somewhere else. So I have to redecorate the spot where I stole that from. I was originally going to use this little blue suitcase on top of the clock, but it wouldn't fit. So this, if you remember, you probably don't remember, but I actually had 5 picnic baskets stacked here with this on top of it. So I decided I needed that picnic basket that was on there. And so I just put this suitcase there, which is really cool because it's got like 2 cases stacked on top of each other, which I really like the way that that looks. Now let me show you what I'm going to do with that picnic basket that was there. That box that I snitched to use on top of the clock was right here. And so I am going to put this little basket there, which I've had that basket on that corner in the past and I really, really liked it. And then I'm going to use this picnic basket on top of the stove. So I'm gonna put you on the tripod and we're gonna do a little bit of rearranging here. So while I was decorating this, I noticed this little spot here on this wall is filthy. This is where I kept track of the kids as they grew. And I don't want this painted. I was gonna have the painters do it, but then I'm like, no, I don't want them to paint those memories. So you can see where I wiped it down and then put the labels on after we moved back into the house. And I've been meaning all this time, for all these months, to paint from there up. So I am going to do that today because that just looks terrible. It looks like I'm a terrible housekeeper. And it's just dirty from when the tree fell and all the dirt and the dust and the debris and everything that we went through last year when we had to have our house fixed. So let me get things set up and let's get that painted. It's not going to take me very long. Well, that looks a ton better. It's not going to be done in this video because we have to let the paint dry. And I'm going to try to figure out some kind of a trim piece or something to go across there. Scott might have a scrap of something, because I don't know how it'll look with it, an abrupt stop between nice, clean, fresh paint and not so clean, fresh stuff. What we really need to do is just replace this piece, and then I can just keep this like down in my office or something, but that's not going to happen for a while. And Olivia, as you noticed in the footage, Olivia took over. That's because the way I was doing it, she said, was vexing her greatly. And so she's like, let me do it. Just let me do it. I'm like, oh, fine, go ahead, because I hate painting anyway. And this is how our supper turned out. As you can see, those pork chops were so tender that they actually fell apart as we were taking them out of the crock pot. They were so delicious and so flavorful. The family absolutely loved them. I will definitely be doing this again, even though it's kind of a mess having to do the, frying first. But still, if you have extra time in the mornings to do that, it's a really delicious main dish. I served it with pierogies that I roasted in the oven. Just spray a little bit of cooking spray on them and they brown up really nicely. And then I made the green beans in my air fryer, actually. I drizzled a little bit of olive oil and some salt-free garlic and herb seasoning on them, and just cooked them in the air fryer, and they were delicious. This was a very, very delicious supper. And this is where I'm going to go ahead and end this video for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this day in the life. I feel like I got quite a bit accomplished on this day, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below, and we'll see you again on Friday with a brand new video. Thanks for watching, friends. Bye-bye.